Good afternoon. Welcome to the TheoTrade afternoon video. I am Blake Young. Today is May 21st, 2026, and we're going to talk about healthcare and housing. But to start with, we're going to start with where the market has recovered off of the gap down, closing up today. We're creating higher highs and higher lows in the short term. We're still in the consolidation from this previous high into the pullback, but it is absolutely a gap down, close up. And so we've satisfied the bearish gap into bullishness and returned right back into this area. So again, if we stay closed below 748.17 today, then I would assume that we would probably have another down day in the works. But we did get some interesting economic data today. We had some interesting economic data from Flash Manufacturing PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, which showed an increase or growing PMI. So manufacturing is improving. Housing starts and building permits also beat expectations and the forecast. So we're seeing a pickup on building permits and housing starts. That's a good thing because that means we're seeing building permits applied for, and not just applied for building permits, but they're actually beginning the construction on some of those homes. So we're still increasing production of the houses. Now, I do think there's an opportunity in there to fade that, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's start with the signal that we got in healthcare. So we will begin with XLV. Healthcare has come well off the highs from 160 down to 142. We rallied up, and this is our monkey bar breakout for healthcare. Not only are we seeing a monkey bar breakout, you can see that the accumulation distribution, or the Chaikin money flow in this, is giving us a bullish cross of the zero and the average, showing that we're picking up momentum, and we had a pretty sizable volume move up off of these lows as well. So this definitely feels like a basing pattern for me on the ETF. Individual stocks inside of the healthcare sector are going to look even better. If we look at a stock like Merck, you can see a very large day, widening pattern, lower low, higher high. So we've expanded into there, what I call the pirate flag. We are oversold as far as the accumulation still is concerned, and we're climbing through here. But it's not my favorite because we're hitting our head at the 0% level. I like the candle, I like the size of the directional move here, but we need something more. If we take a look at Eli Lilly has given us a breakout, also 2.58% day, and it feels like we're chasing this one because we made higher highs, higher lows. You had a buy signal back here, another buy signal back here, and we're still marching higher. But notice that occurred as we crossed through that zero and average line as well in the recovery after it created this basing pattern and broke out. So Eli Lilly has some more upside as well. The question is, can we find the stocks that are not up too high, too far, too quick, that we still have upside potential? That's going to be in stocks like AbbVie, which is giving us a similar size candle with the, still hasn't crossed through that accumulation yet. So when it does that, we likely will get acceleration. I do think it's an easy target up to about 220, and then we could continue up to 227. But the one that seems to be setting up the best is right here in Amgen. Amgen is giving us a breakout, is above the zero and climbing, is clearing and closing above these previous highs, and the gap tells us we're going up here, which matches up with the top of this monkey bar. So I'm looking for this to go from 337 to 346. And that $9 move, I think, could happen very quickly. I mean, today alone we did $5.74, so it could be over the next day or two, and we could be pushing up for that $9 move in Amgen. I would like to sell a put in Amgen because it allows us to buy at a discount. However, the options are not that great as far as the premium received. Even at the money, we're not getting more than the 3%, so we'd like to participate in that 3%. If you look at the dividend, they offer a 3% dividend. We're past the ex-dividend date, so we wouldn't be chasing that anyway. So it would either buy the stock and then start selling calls against it, or potentially buy an in-the-money call and do an in-out spread where you can collect enough time decay that you can let this run its course up to that next target. And I think you can get away with buying the 325 and selling the 337.50 at the money for the highest amount of time decay. And then it doesn't have to move for you to make some of that money, or at least that 3%. In fact, if you did that specific trade, the spread on this is $12.50, and it would cost you somewhere around $8, $8.50. So you could potentially make 50% return on your risk, make the same size, actually a little bit larger return as far as a percentage and a premium, But you wouldn't be planning on holding this for a long time period. It'd just be playing it for about a month. If you wanted to hold it for a longer time period, then you'd go out to further later expirations on the long call and still sell that front month, but closer to a delta between 30 and 40. But I like Amgen's technical breakout today. A stock like Danaher is giving us a buy breakout signal, and even just the fair price target is going to bring you up to about, get the exact number, 178.08. And so there's about a $5 move in there, and another 3%. But if we can return back to this gap, which still hasn't been truly tested, we're talking about a move up to 184, and a $10 move will give you about a 7% return. The short put is okay. We could sell a short put at 170 for 2.6%. I like to target that 2.5%. It's not giving us the same safety net of doubling that return. It'd be about 5% safety net with a 2.6% return on risk for the 170. So it could go with either buying the stock or selling the put to get in at 170. Then you're going to get paid that 2.6%. If you're expecting it to move to that higher, larger target going all the way up there, I would say just go ahead and buy the stock for that type of a move. And then as you get close to it, sell the call up at that target of about 185. Now let's talk about Homebuilders. Homebuilders gave us a bearish breakout, pulled back and gave us a bearish breakout on the Bollinger Bands, then later gave us a bearish breakout on the monkey bars, and both hit their target at about 95.35, whether you did the Bollinger Band breakout or if you did the monkey bars. And then what did we do as we hit that target of fair price? We created a bullish cluster in the market forecast, saying that's probably the end, that's probably the good place to take profit and step aside. Now we've got positive news. There's two positive news that came out. One is that we had the building permits and housing starts today. That's very positive for the home builders. They're building more homes. They're getting new building permits and building more homes. And we saw, after reaching a new annual high on their interest rates, we saw those pull back. So if we go take a look at the 10-year treasury, you can say that we're doing the exact same inverse move. We've put in a new annual high in the 10-year treasury yield, and we pulled back the last 2 days, which is lower cost for home builders, and that's why it went up 2 days in a row in home builders. The question I have is, do you think that the 10-year treasury yield is going to reverse all of this, or are we just coming back to find support in this new uptrend? If we believe that we're going to find support in this new uptrend, whether here at the fair price at 45.80-ish, or maybe down here at 45, then I would watch for home builders to find a peak and roll over. If we go back to home builders XHP one more time, if this bounce is going to continue as yields pull back maybe another day or two, I would love to take a bearish position when home builders hit 103.94. Now we hit a clear support. We broke that clear support and then recovered off of a peak in interest rates falling. So we hit that peak and fell, and this went the opposite direction. So all of these are still tightly correlated and tied together. If interest rates bounce back up, either now or in a day or two, then this should find a peak and roll back down either now or in a day or two. So I will watch for the home builders to get up to about 103.94 and start looking for bearish positions. And the one that I probably am most interested in fading is Toll Brothers. It's at its fair price and it's already gapped down. It already reacted to earnings and gapped up, closed higher, but today it gapped down, closed flat so far off of positive home builder news. So how is it that even more positive news isn't helping Toll Brothers, except that we are just reacting to the earnings and then betting big? This seems like a good spot to take a bearish position, either 136 or up here at 142. If we decided not to wait and sell into this now, we could sell the 140, buy the 145, and what that's going to cost us, or better said, what credit we're going to get, will tell us how much risk we're going to take. Now, if we can get 142 for this trade, $5 wide spread, that's a good. I always say I want to get at least 25 cents per dollar wide. So if I can get 140 or 142, then my risk is $358 to get the 142, which is better than 50% return on risk. And that 358 tells me that I have to be right 70% of the time, and you can see this is a fair trade. It's a fair price trade. It's reasonable, but I do think we have probably another day that we could push higher, try one more time higher for home builders, at which point then I will want to set up this trade, probably going out to the 145, 150, but it still looks very promising to see a return to a downtrend, or at least a cease to advance, despite this little positive move in rates or yields that are benefiting home builders and their economic report that is probably temporary as well. So we'll continue to watch for these. And I do think they're setting up for the next leg down. All in all, we are seeing a few glimmers of positivity in the economy, but we're also seeing a significant rotation, still chasing tech, but into utilities, into healthcare, and more of that defensive behavior. So I'm not convinced that we're out of the woods. And despite oil pulling back today, I'm not convinced that we're done with oil prices going higher. And if oil prices still go higher, if yields go higher, interest rates go higher, then home builders are going to top out. We're still probably going to be looking for safety in the healthcare sector, utilities, and then back into consumer staples again in the near future. I think consumer staples, the only reason why they're down today is because of Walmart's earnings. So watch out for that. We're still seeing a movement and flight to safety, and I think we'll likely see that going on further. So that's what I'm watching for. And we'll just continue to watch for new trade setups in a more defensive, protective way over the next days and weeks. Thank you for watching. Join me again next week, and I'll hopefully see you in the trading desk room tomorrow.